Hey guys, you're watching the Gregorio Girls Makeup channel. If you're new, welcome. My name is Devin and I run this beauty channel with my sister Shauna. So for today's video, we are going to be reviewing the new Anastasia Beverly Hills Riviera palette. Here it is. Here's what it looks like now that I've played with it a little bit. It's beautiful. There's a gorgeous collection of colors in here. However, I do have some thoughts on this palette. I also did pick up the dewy setting spray as well, so that is going to be in this video as well. So I don't want to waste too much time talking about it because as usual, I talk a lot in the video. So if you would like to see how I created this look right here and my first impressions on the new Anastasia palette, please just keep on watching. Alright you guys, I'm super excited about this review, so let's just go ahead and dive right in. Here's the palette, here's the box. The box is literally my favorite part. No, I'm just kidding. What I will say that I really like about what ABH has been doing about their palettes recently is the sultry palette and this palette are not that like velvety material. They're like hard material, and the sultry palette was like hard and it had glitter all over it, and I like that because even though like the velvety material that they use in their other palettes is nice and it's definitely like signature to Anastasia Beverly Hills, their company and their palettes, that texture and that material just gets so dirty so quickly. Not that this won't, because this has white and stuff in it, but I just feel like I like this better than the velvet. So that's my 2 cents on that. The palette definitely feels high-end, it feels well made, and I really wouldn't expect anything else from ABH. So then we open up the palette here. Whoop, there goes the brush. So the color story here is just phenomenal. This bright pink looks absolutely crazy to me. I've never seen an eyeshadow that color before, like at this level of pigment, so I'm so excited about that. But yeah, really, really fun. Obviously, if you don't like color, you're not gonna like this palette. We'll just throw that out in the open right away. But if you do, I really have a feeling that this is gonna be so fun to play with, so. And then, of course, as you might know, there were other items launched in the spring collection with this palette. I did not pick up the loose highlighters because I just didn't feel like I needed them, but I did pick up this guy right here. So this is the new setting spray that Anastasia Beverly Hills just came out with. The first thing that I just kind of want to call out into the open here is this is the new setting spray. This is the, what most would call, I guess, a cult classic, the MAC Fix Plus Prep and Prime. And a lot of MAC products actually have this like style pump here. People immediately started calling that out when this collection was announced. And here's the thing, like one could argue, I suppose, that like every other setting spray has the same spray top as well. But MAC is really the only company that I've seen with this style bottle, and this just looks identical to the MAC Fix Plus. So whatever, that's not really here nor there for me. I feel like some people will be really mad about it and some people really won't care. I just want to see if the setting spray is good, but I just felt like this is a product, this is a staple in my professional kit and a staple in my makeup routine, so I felt like I just needed to call this out. So decide what you will about that. So this comes in this beautiful sparkly bottle here. Now, one thing they did make it a point to explain is that the spray itself is not glittery at all. It's clear, but the bottle is glittery, which I absolutely love. I think the packaging is just stunning. It's a water-based formula. It can be used to prep, set, or refresh your makeup throughout the day. You can wear it alone. And one of the big things that they were saying about this is that it's supposed to like spray out in a really fine mist, as opposed to like kind of like the water gun effect that you can get from a lot of setting sprays. So the fact that it's a fine mist is supposed to kind of preserve some of the product and have you not have to spray so much out because it distributes it more evenly with less pumps. So now I just want to get right into the tutorial. I'm going to peel my little mirror protector off the mirror so we can use it. And we're gonna get right into it. So first I'm gonna go ahead and prime my eyelids with the Urban Decay Eyeshadow Primer Potion. This one is getting down to the last bit of it, and I think it's getting a little bit old and like crusty. I might need to throw this bottle out and open a new one because I've been noticing that it's been making my eyelid's a little bit dry, so I'm just gonna warm it up on the back of my hand and see if that helps. And actually, before I go any further with this tutorial, I do want to put a little bit of setting powder under my eyes to catch any fallout that may happen, because I am already wearing complexion products. I do already have a base down, and I don't want to mess that up. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do is take this color right here. It's called Sails, and it's just a nice bright white. And I'm just gonna use that to set my eyeshadow primer. Next, I'm gonna take this shade right here. This is called Estate, and I'm gonna just blend that lightly through the crease. And just to be transparent, there is kick up in the pan as soon as I dip my brush in. As usual, honestly, for me with my Anastasia palettes, but these shadows are so highly pigmented that I'm really okay with it. Just start sparingly, start with a little bit, and then build on top of it. Okay, and now I think I'm just gonna go for it. So I want this she sells seashells by the seashore. Ooh, so I want this seaside shade here. I think I want that to be the all over lid color. So I actually think I wanna apply this shade with my finger first and see how it applies. Oh my goodness, it feels so soft when you just like dip your finger in it. And like right away, there's the pigment. So I'm gonna see how this applies with my fingers first, and then, oh. I'm looking at it in the monitor, and it does not even do it justice what it's showing on camera right now. Holy moly. Okay, so now I'm starting to get a little bit of fallout, but it's a shimmer shade. I suppose I could have used Shauna's trick and laid down a little bit of Too Faced glitter glue before I did this, but it's always nice to see how the shadows perform on their own. I am gonna use a brush to kind of like get the area of my lid that I can't really reach without a brush. So I'm just gonna kind of pack that on. Okay, so I definitely think a little bit of glitter glue would be helpful in this situation just because it's so shimmery, like it's really falling out under here. But the pigment is just, I can't get over it. This is absolutely gorgeous. Like this might be my favorite shimmer that I've ever tried from ABH, and that's including the shimmers in the Sultry palette, which are bomb.com. Wow. Okay, just for the hell of it, I'm just gonna give it one more coat and wet it. I'm going to use a little bit of the dewy set, so let's test out the fine mist that we're supposed to have here. Oh yeah, I can see what they're saying about how it comes out at more of a wide angle, so you cover more surface area with less sprays. I can see how that. Ooh, and it does smell really nice. I also do like how wetting the shadow kind of locks the shimmer down a little bit if you don't have a glitter glue, like it just makes it a little bit stickier. Okay, wow, like how stunning is this color? I pretty much just wanna stop right here, like I'm done. But obviously I don't wanna do that because this is a review and I wanna use as many of the colors as possible. But I am so impressed, even for like the level that I was expecting for Anastasia, which is pretty high. Usually I expect good things from their eyeshadow palettes. I am obsessed with this shimmer color. It is beautiful. And then what I think I want to do next is I'm just going to take a little bit of this Monte Carlo shade here, which is just like a beautiful corally light pink, and I'm going to take it on the same brush that I used for the crease initially, and I'm going to just leave the other color that was on there before because I kind of want these colors to mix together in my crease, but I'm hoping that this will kind of help me blend the shimmer into my crease a little bit. Actually, scratch that brush because as I'm blending it, all it's really doing is just wiping the shimmer off of my eyelids. I think the brush is a little bit too big, so I'm taking my Morphe M321, which is a smaller brush, and I'm gonna try to focus that color a little bit tighter in the crease. And then since I did wipe away some of that shimmer, I'm just taking a little bit more of it on the same brush that I was using and just blending that back up into the crease. I just want the pink and the purple to blend together enough so there's not such a harsh line between the color in the crease and the lid. All right, and then I'm gonna grab my M433 again, and I'm not gonna put any extra product on it, but I'm just gonna go ahead and blend out that edge up top. I also don't pretend to be an expert with working with colored shadows, so we're kind of learning together here, peeps. Definitely outside the comfort zone. Okay, so I'm gonna leave the top lid alone for a second and I'm gonna work on the bottom lid. So I'm just gonna take a powder brush and just lightly dust off all the fallout and all the powder that we had underneath the eye. And for the bottom, I think I wanna do a pop of gold. So first I'm gonna take this shade right here. It's called Cabana, and it's this kind of like burnt yellow dandelion shade, and it's matte, so I'm gonna lay that down first on the lower lash line. So I'm taking my Morphe E18, and I'm just gonna go ahead and smoke that out along the lower lash line. Okay, so I honestly don't feel like that color is terribly vibrant. It is a darker yellow, but I did feel like I had to kind of like work to blend that and build that up. So I'm honestly not sure if I'm a fan of that shade yet, but I'm gonna lay the gold shimmer right on top of it, so we'll see. So next, I'm gonna take this shade right here, which is called Inheritance, and it's just a beautiful gold shimmer, and I'm gonna lay that right on top across the lower lash line. So I'm gonna start with a small brush. This is my Morphe M213, and we're gonna test this shade out dry first. Okay, so it's pretty. I'm not sure if it's picking up on camera. The pigment and the shimmer is definitely there, but I do think I still want to wet it a little bit. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. And I'm gonna use a little bit of Fix Plus because I think I still like this better to wet the eyeshadow than the dewy setting spray. Okay, you guys, I need to take a moment to just pause here really quick. I have to be honest, I really feel like I'm having to work to build these shades up a lot to get the color that I want. And also this shimmer, the longer that it's on my lids, the more it's kind of falling off of my lids, like it's not really staying on there. So again, I think using a glitter glue underneath would definitely help that, and I obviously didn't use one. And I also haven't watched a lot of other videos of people using this palette because I didn't want my review to be biased at all. I think I only watched one, and it was Nicole Concilio because she was like one of the first people to get one up. So I haven't really been watching a lot of videos on like how other people are using this palette and the techniques that they're using to work with these colors. And as I mentioned before, I'm not really comfortable with working with bright colors very much, but I honestly can't say that I'm really in love with this palette yet. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and pop on some liner and lashes off of camera, and then I'll be back for lips and my final thoughts. All right, you guys, so my glue's still drying a little bit, but here we are with liner and lashes and a little bit of mascara on the bottom, and I do like what the liner and the lashes brought to the look. But honestly, even if as I was doing mascara and putting my lashes on, that shimmer, this purple shimmer on my lid just keeps falling onto my under eyes, and I'm getting honestly a little bit frustrated with it. So I'm not sure, but let's move on. So actually, really quickly before we do lips, I realized that I haven't talked about this or tested this out yet. So I'm just gonna go ahead and set my makeup with this, even though typically I like to do setting spray before lashes, but we're just gonna go ahead and spray this guy all over the face. Okay, it smells delicious. It has a familiar smell. It smells like something else, and I can't think of what that something else is. But I can definitely see what they mean about not needing too much of it. It definitely sprays out at like a wider angle and covers more surface area of your face when you spray it. I mean, just by sitting here, I'm not really gonna be able to tell if I like this or not. I'll have to test it out over the course of a couple days, but my face actually was looking very powdery, and it definitely did a good job of immediately sucking up those powders. So I like that piece of it. That's like the one thing that I look for in a setting spray, is to make sure that it really absorbs my powders, because I like to like cake my face up and then melt it all in with setting spray. So far so good with that. I don't really have any complaints. And really quick, just because, I'm gonna take my Urban Decay Heavy Metals glitter liner in the shade Midnight Cowboy. It's just gold, and I'm just gonna put it in my inner corner just to give this look a little something, because I feel like I need help with it right now. All right, and then to finish up with lips, I'm gonna use my Kylie Cosmetics liquid lipstick in the shade Commando. This is one of my favorite go-to nude liquid lipsticks. All right, kids, we have reached the closing portion of this video, and I'm gonna give you some of my thoughts. So in terms of final thoughts on this eyeshadow palette. I don't really think I have final thoughts on it yet, but I will give you my first impressions. So honestly, I really felt I feel a little bit disappointed right now. I was so hyped for this palette and I was expecting good things, and it's not that I didn't get a good product, it's just that I wasn't as impressed with it as I thought I would be right off the bat. And I don't know if that's my technique. Like, I admit that I'm not comfortable working with bright eyeshadows, so I don't know if I just haven't quite figured out how to use this palette in a way that works for me yet. But honestly, my first impressions are that I felt like the matte colors, I did feel like I needed to really work them in and build them up. Granted, I was trying to use a light hand, but still, I did feel like I had to keep building them up and building them up and building them up, almost as if they weren't staying. And then I'm really upset about the shimmer shade just like falling off my eyelids. So first impressions, honestly, I'm a little disappointed, and I'm sad that I'm disappointed, but I also want to be honest. Now, that being said, there are a lot of shades in this palette that I have not yet touched or played with. There are a lot of looks that I'm inspired to do with this palette, and there are a lot of tutorials that I want to create and do for you guys and produce for you guys with this palette before I really make like a final hard decision. Yes, I like this palette, or no, I don't. But in terms of first impressions, it's kind of like a ... for me, like a to be continued. So that's going to be it for this review of the new Anastasia palette. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. Please, please, please let me know either if you've gotten this palette and you have any feedback, or if you've watched other reviews and you have any recommendations, like, hey Devin, this is a really good review to watch on this palette to learn how to use it. Please, please, please let me know. I want to know your thoughts as well as sharing my thoughts, just so that I can make the best out of my purchase, just like I want you to make the best out of your purchase if you decide to get this palette. Before you leave, if you have not yet subscribed to the Gregorio Girls Makeup channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below. We would love to have you join the Gregorio Girl Gang. You can also follow us on Instagram. That's kind of where we hang out in between YouTube videos and tutorials and things. So I am at Devdevgregs and Shauna is at ShaunaGregs. I will link our handles and our Instagram accounts down below. And with that, I will catch you guys in the next Gregorio Girls video. Mwah. Love you. Bye.